What is popping? What is going on YouTube world? My name is Ghiman Mckinney. I appreciate you guys for watching this video today. Be sure to smash this like button right about now, as it does help these videos get out to the public and the channel to grow overall. Subscribe to my channel if you're new as well. I do post a ton of great sports videos weekly and almost every single day if I can, and turn on post notifications too, so you don't miss a single one of those videos that I post. It's only right, you guys. Let's talk about Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback at Alabama, who is projected to go in potentially the top 10. He's definitely one of the three best quarterbacks in the draft to me. Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and Tua Tagovailoa are clearly the three best quarterbacks in this upcoming 2020 draft. And unfortunately, it's bad news for Tua. He dislocated his hip over the weekend versus Ole Miss, and so he's out for the season. And this potentially could affect his draft stock. So I'm going to give my thoughts on the whole Tua injury, my thoughts on Alabama's season, and how he potentially could fall in the draft and where he might go. So my thoughts for Alabama is, look, their season's over, okay? Even if Alabama were to find a way into the playoffs, they're not going to win. They are not going to win the national championship. Now, Ohio State a couple years ago did win a national championship with a third-string quarterback in Cardale Jones, who actually turned out to be pretty good. You know, Mac Jones, he's an okay quarterback at Alabama, but I don't see anything special in Mac Jones. Alabama, to me, is not that great. I mean, they're a good team, no doubt. They're definitely a top 5-6 team this year, but they're not better than LSU. They're not better than Clemson. They're not better than Ohio State, and I take my bets on Oregon being better than Alabama, so I don't think Alabama is going to get into the college football playoffs. I think the committee was pushing for Alabama to get in there, but now that Tua is kind of out, you know, the committee, either way you want to slice it, I feel like the committee has an agenda to really put teams into the playoffs that they actually want. Okay, I'm not trying to knock the committee because they've done a decent job, but let's be real, guys. People want TV ratings. People want to see Tua. People want to see the brand Alabama, Nick Saban. The College Football Playoff Committee will do what they can to put Alabama in if they deserve to be in. If there's a tiebreaker between Oregon, Utah, and Alabama, do you really think that if Alabama runs the table, the committee is not going to think about just putting Alabama in? I personally think they would put Alabama in over Oregon if they want out. But now that Tua is out, now that entertainment factor is not there for television, I think that Alabama is going to be on the outside looking in. And let's be real, guys. At Alabama, it's national championship or bust, okay? It's not a program that's just happy to get to the playoffs, happy to just compete, happy to win their conference. No, Alabama is national championship or bust. So their season is over from that standpoint because they're not beating Ohio State, they're not beating Clemson, they're not beating Oregon, they're not beating any of these top 10 teams without Tua. And potentially Auburn could beat them even now that Tua's gone. Auburn is still a top 10, top 15 team in America right now. They still have to go to Auburn and travel and play them in the Iron Bowl. So Alabama's season is done for, in my opinion, okay? So Alabama's season is done. What does this mean for Tua? To me, this means that Tua Tagovailoa is going to drop in the NFL draft. Now, a lot of people thought he potentially could be the #1 overall pick, potentially go to the Bengals, potentially go to the Dolphins if they get that #1 overall pick. You know, maybe the Buccaneers are looking at him. Look, listen, my standpoint is that, look, Tua's great, but I don't feel that Tua separated himself from Joe Burrow, separated himself from Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, Tua, and Joe Burrow are clearly the three best quarterbacks in this upcoming draft. But no quarterback except Joe Burrow this year has clearly, by a wide margin, separated themselves. And to me, I like Herbert a lot. I like Joe Burrow a little bit more than Herbert. I've never loved Tua in the first place. So look, bottom line, there's no Trevor Lawrence. There's no Andrew Luck. There's no Aaron Rodgers in this draft. So the fact that Tua had injury problems last year, the fact that he's now injured and going to be out for the entire season this year, the fact that he has a lot of injury history, the fact that he's a little bit undersized for the quarterback position. He is 6'1", so he does make the cut in the NFL, but still, he's a little bit more undersized. You know, he's going to drop, okay? With the season Joe Burrow's having, with the season that Justin Herbert is having, with Tua Tagovailoa's injury history, Tua is going to drop. Tua was never a surefire for, you know, #1 overall pick from the get-go. Okay, he was a great player. He might have well went #1 overall if this happened. And again, I personally think if the Bengals take Tua, they might have something. I personally think if the Dolphins take Tua, they might have something. But I don't love Tua. Okay, I really don't. I would much rather have Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. Okay, I made a whole video talking about Tua Tagovailoa and why I think Tua Tagovailoa is overrated in the offseason. Be sure to check that video out right now if you've not checked it out already. My issue with Tua is that last year, he didn't really get a chance to show it this year just because LSU this year was the only good team that Alabama actually played, like the only team that had real NFL players, okay? Now, Tua played okay in that game, but he didn't wow me in that game. He didn't, knock my socks off versus Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow outplayed Tua Tagovailoa when they went head to head, okay? So, last year versus Mississippi State, LSU, Clemson, and Georgia, Tua Tagovailoa, in his biggest games, when he actually has to play NFL defenses, when he actually has to play teams that are really, really good, that are actually at the level of Alabama, he struggled mightily. 58% completion percentage, 6 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions in those 4 games versus Clemson, Georgia, LSU, and Mississippi State. And in 2 of those games versus Georgia and Mississippi State, Tua Tagovailoa could not even finish the whole game because he got injured, okay? So, look, there's something to be said for quarterbacks that stay the same under pressure when they go against really good competition. There is something to be said for quarterbacks that elevate under pressure. Something that Baker Mayfield, Dwayne Haskins, Kyler Murray, and Joe Burrow, recent draft picks that have gone to the NFL, did in college. The thing about Haskins, Mayfield, Murray, and Burrow is they elevate in their biggest moments. Tua shrinks in those biggest moments. It's not a small drop-off. Tua's drop-off is by a wide margin. So, I have concerns about Tua. However, I really do think that Tua, look, listen, he's going to drop regardless. If you had to ask me, is Tua going number 1 overall to the Bengals potentially? No, he's not. Because his injury history, his knee, now his dislocated hip, and what he did last year versus NFL caliber defenses, him not being so impressive, that's going to concern some NFL teams. So what does that mean? Tua Tagovailoa is going to drop in this NFL draft, in my opinion. Now again, I could see the Bengals still taking him. I could see the Dolphins still taking him. But I don't think Tua Tagovailoa is going to get drafted within the top 6 or 7 picks, okay? So what does this mean? It actually, in my opinion, I think this could be the best thing for Tua Tagovailoa for his career long term as far as being a successful NFL quarterback. The reason why is because Tua is going to drop potentially to a team like the Panthers who are looking for a quarterback that have a roster set in place to win, an elite defense, really good wide receivers, Christian McCaffrey to hand the football off to. He potentially could drop to the Tennessee Titans who have A.J. Brown and Corey Davis and an elite defense and Derrick Henry to hand the football off to. He could drop to a team like the Chargers who, God forbid, Philip Rivers has looked awful this year. I would not be shocked if the Chargers, look to move on from Philip Rivers this offseason. Tua Tagovailoa, you give him Keenan Allen, Melvin Gordon, Austin Eckler, Mike Williams. You give him those running backs and wide receivers, Hunter Henry too, Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram, that elite defense. The Chargers have a real roster, guys. The Colts, could he fall to the Colts? The Colts have a real roster too. Colts, elite offensive line, really good head coach. A quarterback he can learn from, and Jacoby Brissett, that's another thing. He can learn behind Philip Rivers too in San Diego. Potentially the Buccaneers, with Mike Evans, O.J. Howard, Chris Godwin, Bruce Arians is your head coach. The bottom line I'm trying to make is that, look, Cincinnati and Miami are going to be picking in the top 4 for a reason. You want to know why? Because they're not good teams, okay? Terrible offensive line, not a great culture, not great well-run organizations, okay? Bad rosters, bad wide receiver play, not a whole lot of talent on those teams. So Tua, who's been injury prone, you put him behind the Bengals offensive line with the Bengals roster? You're going to ask him to elevate that team? You put him behind the Miami Dolphins offensive line? You're going to ask him to elevate these sorry wide receivers in Miami? So the fact that Tua potentially could dodge getting drafted by the Bengals and Dolphins might be the best thing for his NFL career, okay? Because Russell Wilson went to the perfect situation. He got the Legion of Boom, Marshawn Lynch and Pete Carroll to work with. Aaron Rodgers got to sit behind Brett Favre for 3 years until he was ready to play an NFL game. Patrick Mahomes, he got to sit for 1 year behind Alex Smith, a quarterback that, does not turn the football over, that can help Patrick Mahomes with his issues coming out of college, which was turning the football over. He can sit and learn for a year and develop. He goes to Andy Reid, who makes every good quarterback look good that he's ever worked with. Look at all the quarterbacks that Andy Reid has worked with. Donovan McNabb, Alex Smith, all of them have put up great numbers. Andy Reid is an offensive mastermind. Patrick Mahomes with Tyreek Hill, with Travis Kelce and Sammy Watkins, and a playoff-ready roster. I'm not saying that Patrick Mahomes had it completely made, but he was in a situation where he almost, if Patrick Mahomes had any type of skill set as a quarterback, he could not fail. That's the situation he was put in, okay? Lamar Jackson. Imagine if Lamar Jackson went to Cleveland or Arizona or the New York Jets. Is he doing the things he's doing right now in Baltimore with a stable organization? I do not think so. Deshaun Watson. He goes to the Houston Texans, a team that made the playoffs the year before he got there, okay? He has J.J. Watt on his defense. He has DeAndre Hopkins to throw to. Now, obviously, he had to work with a bad offensive line, but again, not a terrible situation. So, if you ask Tua, okay, look, listen, this might hurt him as far as making money on his first contract, but usually you make your money in the NFL on your second contract. The difference between making money as far as being the number 1 overall pick to the 10th overall pick is a little bit wide as far as rookies go, but if you ball out, you're going to make that money in that second contract. Look at Carson Wentz. Look at Jared Goff. Look at what Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes are going to have ahead of them, okay? So, if I'm Tua, yes, it's bad that I got injured. Yes, I might not be the number 1 overall pick, but would you rather go to Cincinnati, a team that's terrible, with a bad offensive line, with bad ownership, a bad culture, or would you rather go to Los Angeles to play with the Chargers, or Carolina, where they have a real roster, or Tennessee, where all they need is a quarterback? So Tua Tagovailoa dropping in the NFL draft might be the best thing of his entire career. Now again, he still could go to Cincinnati. He still could go to Miami. He won't be there to, work at the combine and show what he can do at the NFL scouting combine. So again, if I had to bet my money based on Tua's injury history, based on his bad performances versus LSU, versus Mississippi State, versus Georgia, versus Clemson, versus his, when it comes to Tua's competition versus these really good teams in college that have had really good defenses with NFL players, Tua's not played well. Combine that with injury history, he's going to drop. That's my humble opinion. He could drop to the Buccaneers. He could drop to the Titans. He could drop to the Colts. Heck, some teams might try to get to it. I don't know. But either way, if Tua were to drop, it actually might be the best thing for his NFL career. But bottom line, Alabama's season is done for. They're not beating LSU. They're not beating Clemson. They're not beating Georgia. Anyone else that gets into the playoffs with Mac Jones. So, unfortunate for Alabama. Their program's on the downfall to me a little bit. But again, we'll see what Alabama does next year. But either way, that's pretty much it for this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me where I'm right. Tell me where I'm wrong. Love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video today. Be sure to smash this like button right now if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel if you're new as well. I do post a ton of great sports videos weekly and almost every single day if I can. A fun fact about me is I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world. I want to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. Kind of like Colin Cowherd, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp. You get the point. Okay, I want to do sports, television, and radio for a full living once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I currently am a freshman there right now. So the best thing you guys can do to just help me continue to grow as a young broadcaster is to just share this channel with all your friends, because potentially if this channel really gets somewhere, I want to start my own network, okay? Or potentially if it doesn't, or if I fall a little bit short, I want to go into a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. So the best thing you guys can do to just flat out just help me grow as a broadcaster, help me learn, get other people hip to this channel, just share this channel with all your friends, share this channel on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, all that good stuff. Also, be sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. And once again, guys, just share this channel with everyone you know. Get everyone hipped and watching these videos. Get my voice out there and heard. Share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, all that good stuff. It's been your boy, Ghiman Mckinney, or you can just call me Juice. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in today. I really do. Have a God bless day. Stay motivated, you guys, and I'm out.